So Pat's going to come up and talk to you about our visitors and our membership.
I'm going to tell you something kind of personal first. I've just been on a 4-day cruise with one of my daughters. It was fun, but the best part, or one of the best parts, was we run geography trivia. Down to business. First, I would like to introduce a visitor, Genevieve Van Laan. Yeah, would you just stand up, Genevieve? Just let everybody see who you are. Thank you. She's from North Carolina.
Welcome.
Now we have Denise Cahill. Denise, where are you? Welcome, Denise. From Edgewater. Oh, wait for it. Oh, my goodness. Well, you people are really enthusiastic. I thought it was bad enough coming from Port Orange. And Crystal Deadman.
Yep.
It's too hard. And last but certainly not least, we have Amy Mecklen. Amy, would you stand up, please? Amy joined us tonight. She's our most recent member.
All right.
Oh, how are you? Did everybody sign in?
Isn't that cool? Three guests, 47 members here tonight. Yay! So, Linda and Sharon, did you want to talk about your accomplishments or?
Well,
the whole guild.
yes.
It was amazing. The show went off without a hitch that we know of, that I know of. Uh-oh. These tall people. I think the worst hitch we had was we had 2 exhibits collapse in one day.
It wasn't our fault.
No, one was the wind and the other one was somebody that banged into it. The hardest part of fixing the president exhibit was what order do they go in? Thank goodness they put their dates on their little tags. Okay. AQS thanked me again. I said to thank all of you. They just love to come and visit us because they know that we take care of anything we need. I was helping hang both exhibits that fell down. We should all be really proud of the hard work we do, and the dedication we have to doing it. That's one thing I think they really like. They know we're always there to work for them. And it takes all of us to do it, so give yourselves a pat on the back for that one. We did another one. I want to thank Patty for running a package check for us again. She has that running so smoothly that when life throws a curveball at her and she can't be there, it just keeps on going. We raised the price a little bit this year, so we brought in about $75 more than last year, so that's a little help. And I think Patty's doing it next year because she said she's keeping the crate for me.
I'm keeping the crate, but I will be on a cruise in the Panama Canal next year.
Okay, then she's not doing it for us next year, so
Somebody's gonna have to step up, and I will.
that's
more than
not the hardest job that we ask you to do for that.
And
You're
I
good
did
with it.
not want to go that week, but it's my friend's
They
birthday.
said you raise both
Okay, I also want to thank Beverly Godfrey, who couldn't be here, and Sue Martin, who I don't see either. I thought she was going to be here tonight, for running our charity booth. And that was busy. Like every time I walked by, that was really busy. And AQS even commented that of all the shows, they never see that booth empty of people helping out. And they think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And several people at AQS have a personal connection with what we do with that, so they really appreciate it. 75 quilts were made this year at the show, and 24 were given away there. I don't, but people who came up and said they had,
To individuals?
individuals who had a family member who had Alzheimer's or TBI or was autistic and whatever. She talks to them a little bit and finds out the situation and then gives them away. She went around and asked all the people who were selling long arms, can we have all the fabric that you're quilting during the week? So we now have bases that she cuts up to use to do next year. And Beverly's decided to take her show on the road because so many quilt guilds said, will you come show us what you do and how to do it? So she's going to start visiting other quilt guilds, she lives in Silver Springs, and teaching them how to do it so more communities will have quilt guilds doing this for them. So I think that's great. Okay, another thank you to Debbie Morse, who handled all the tickets for us. I think it was a little confusing to us all this year with in the dues and the not the dues, but we think we got it straight. Any dues? And Judy's going to give you a little financial report at the end of all this. I know that we sold more tickets this year than last year, so that was good.
Everybody commented on that quote too.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And all the people from Maine wanted to.
Maine, Maryland, anywhere on the coast, they were like, ooh. And that takes us to Kendra and Aurora, who led up the making that raffle quilt for us. I know something that big was a challenge. It was a lot of blocks, trying to get everybody to help you do them. But it really was popular. And we don't often do a king size, and we're going to try not to do one for a little while because hanging it was fun. But the lady who won it needed a king size quilt, and she was really tickled. Her name was Jean Ferguson. She lives in the Villages, and she didn't trust the post office. I called her Monday. She drove down Tuesday morning and picked it up. And the picture's on Groupworks if you haven't seen it in the post. So we want to thank Aurora and Kendra for all the work on that too. And last but definitely not least is Sharon, who was our volunteer coordinator. I know that's the hardest of all the tasks of running this whole show, is doing that. And she took that on and she handled it beautifully, even though, life threw a few bumps in her way during that whole time period. It was a little harder, I think, for her to fill time slots this year. I think this year was it seemed like a strange year for people helping out, but hopefully next year, fingers crossed, things will be better. And my suggestion is go recruit some younger quilters who'll help take some of these spots up from those of us who get too old to hang quilts and stuff anymore. And Sharon has agreed to be volunteer coordinator again next year.
Yay.
And I think she's going to tweak the system so it works a little better because I have limited knowledge of some of the spreadsheet stuff, and I think it'll go even better next year. Do you want to say something?
Thank you to everyone. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, especially those who took multiple shifts. There were certainly some heroes this year. A couple of people hung around the booth and jumped in when we had a vacancy, so that was really, really good. I really appreciate everything you did. So thank you very much.
Judy, you want to come up and do the retreat report and the treasurer's report? She's wearing a lot of hats. Oh, she said no? I'm Judy Glover, if any of you don't know. Hi out there. Hi. Let me just tell you, we had a little retreat since the last meeting real quick. We only had 14 people, but we had fun. It was a nice sized group, and we're going back in October. So, what are the dates in October? October 31st, November 1st, 2nd. Same place.
All the witches are gonna be out.
That's right. With a B.
Flying.
Okay, first of all, as of today, we have $23,505.33 in our bank account.
Yay.
And of this amount, we have approximately, because every time I turn around, somebody's giving me $2 or somebody's telling me there's another expense or whatever. But as of this afternoon, we had netted $63.18 between between the AQS, $6,318. That's $3,000 from AQS, $2,800 from the raffle ticket sales for the raffle ticket, $475 from package check, way to go. And we spent $923, give or take, on this, so our net effect was $53.95. That's great. And that net on the raffle tickets, the quilt, how much the quilt we took in $2,800, we spent $923. So we made $1,920 on the quilt itself. That's great.
Yeah.
The ticket sales did go up, so thank you for everybody for spending your own money and selling tickets, because I know a lot of us bought our own tickets because we wanted to win. Villages.
And she bought the ticket on Wednesday morning, 5 for $6. So I'm only buying my tickets on Wednesday morning.
Good job, everybody.
Okay, Pat put in the upcoming programs in the newsletter, so they're on the front page, and I communicated with Kim Ramos, and she's updated the website, Linda's updated the group work, so we should all be good about what's coming up in 2024. So tonight is our member 5x5 trunk show. If you weren't here last year, we get 5 members to show 5 of their quilts and give us their quilting journey and where they've come and how they've progressed. Next month is Quilts on Fire, Brandy Maslowski. It's going to be a Zoom meeting, and she's going to help us get organized. And I've torn up my sewing room and I'm organizing it, and the guest room still has about 6 bins of fabric that I need to go through. May, we're going to do, Alicia from Oceans of Threads is going to do a color theory, and I think she's going to bring some stuff for us, those viewfinders, the color wheels, I don't know what else, but bring your checkbooks in May. June, we're going to have Quilts of Valor. Terry Burchell, she's going to talk about Quilts of Valor and how we can become involved and join a local group. Sharon is very involved in it, so if you have questions, you can talk to Sharon. That's something I plan on doing when I retire and have more time. July, Kendra and I will do a Christmas in July and have one project for a take and make this year. August, we have Sally Terry Designs. I believe Mindy and Sue Chance and Patty went up to St. Augustine to that new store. And if you don't know about, there's a new store in St. Augustine, and Mindy and Patty can tell you guys about it. She's going to come and do a program and discuss the use of threads, and it's a running threads program. And you think, oh, that's kind of boring, but Harriet Hargrave, I don't know if you remember Harriet, her daughter, Carrie, did her thesis on thread for her master's degree. So it was really interesting. I think you will be surprised at what we can learn. September, Nora and I are going to do, what was I thinking when I bought that ruler? Probably pick a couple, like the Block Lock and maybe some of the, who's the other, Tucker Trimmer? The Studio 180, pick some of those and have a few stations where we can go around. And if you have ideas of rulers that you have that you really want people that you would like, maybe a couple more we can throw in there, shoot me an email and we'll get planning on that. October, Pat Sack, Celia Reed, she's down in Titusville and she's going to come and present a trunk show. And her mom, Patricia Reed, was the feed sack collector and documented over 18,000 squares and 24 books sorted by the sack. So Celia took it over and she's going to do a trunk show and it will be quite interesting. If you've gone to the Florida Quilt Study Group, she's been there. She's been at, not AQS here, up in Jacksonville. She's been in Paducah. So I'm sure you'll recognize her when you see her. November is the Log Cabin Challenge, December the holiday party. January, Mindy and I talked about Margaret Lobianco coming. We were going to have her in May, but the expenses that we had spent this year, we postponed it to next year. She had a booth, and she's the one with those crazy flamingo patterns. Did you see them? I bought them all. I got one kit, and I'm already started a kit on the Dresden plate flamingo we're gonna do. She says it's a 2-day class, but Mindy and I are gonna help you get prepared, so she'll do it in 1 day, and you'll have your flamingos on your background, you'll have your strips of your Dresden plate, and so that'll be really exciting in January. March, we're gonna try and do this as an annual 5x5, and then Sharon has offered to do a program in May on back basting, which is a hand applique technique, and so that'll be good. And then our November challenge in December party. So we've got some more months to fill in, and just wanted to let you know on the program update. Now the UFO update. So a few people have finished their list, but you have till March 31st to give me your pictures or upload them on GroupWorks. I get a notification, I check you off the list, and what we're gonna do at the April meeting, we'll have a table set up, and I'll probably do it ahead of time and get tickets, and maybe even just have them in an envelope to hand to you of how many you've gotten, so the thing is, if you did 5 UFOs and you completed all 5, you're gonna get 5 tickets, and we're gonna do a drawing or 2, and you'll get a prize. And I went around and begged for some really cool prizes at AQS, so I'm not sure if, how do you feel about me just giving you something, or maybe I'll have a selection and you can pick what you want. So we can do that. So that will be, and then in April, you're gonna need to turn in a list at the meeting, and Cynthia's agreed to take it over, and I'll be there too to help, and just kind of take the list and check them off at show and tell, and people email pictures or show me their phone or bring them for show and tell. So that's the UFO.
So that's April to when, Aurora?
April, May, June 30th. And so we broke it down in quarters, because you go for a year, oh, here's a year's, and then December comes and you go, oh, I need to make 12 UFOs. And so you're never gonna do that. So quarterly, it's doable. I got my Alaska Beauty done. I haven't gotten anything else done because I tore my sewing room apart, but I did set up my embroidery machine, and I embroidered Joe's name tag at noon. Because as I was cleaning my room, I found his name tag and went, oh, I forgot to do that. So next, we're gonna have block of the month. So Mindy's gonna come on up, and Ruth, and we're gonna do the drawing and talk about next month's block. So